Joining us now in studio, wide receivers coach and passing game coordinator Ben McDaniels. Coach, how's it going?
Terrific.
All right. It is terrific. And your guys are really heating up here. How do you see them as a group in the evolution of the season so far? Coming out of camp, a little bit of a rough start, but really coming around now.
I think it's natural. There's a progression to the season that we talk about. We're just trying to get better on a weekly basis. The season's really long. We got 4 months until the Super Bowl. And we don't talk a lot about the Super Bowl. We talk about the longevity of the season and try and keep it in perspective. And we try and be we have an opportunity to be way better at the end of the year than we are at the beginning of the year because of the amount of work and the amount of time that you get. So that's the goal, and they're all working that way.
Is there a message, Coach? Is that the message that you use with your young guys, Jaden and Jalen, guys that having to adapt to playing a college season? Because you look at college season, you're like, man, you have 6 weeks done, and you did a bowl game 4 weeks after that, and you're done. But here, like you said, you still got 4 months left. Is that kind of the message you share with the young guys?
Yeah, we don't. Yes, yeah, exactly. I understand that, like, as compared to college, that's but quite honestly, like at this point, they're far removed from college,
right. Right.
And they feel like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, but yes, we talk about just having a great perspective on the longevity of the season and working to constantly get better.
Not to bunch the rookies together, but I'm about to do that anyway, because the progression, you mentioned that, how they get better, and you as the coach get to see that, and you never know where it's going, right? You see them jump a level here and jump a level there. What's that like for you and for them?
That's coaching.
Yeah.
That's the joy of coaching, is to see growth in the player. And that's your goal as a coach. That's what I'm trying to do every day, every off season, every training camp, every in season, and every week as we creep along through the season. So, yeah, they're all better. However, whatever that percentage is, that really doesn't matter. You're just trying to get a percentage better.
I remember when you said to us a couple years ago, we were talking about Nico, and we asked you about his growth. And I remember you saying, we've challenged Nico to be better after the catch. And I remembered that comment because it feels like that unlocked a box in him. Like, he gets the ball in his hands, he becomes a major threat after the catch. So I'm going to ask you about Nico, just his evolution, because you've seen him from day one, been with him all the way through. What have you seen from Nico, and where would you like to see him grow further, and what are you very proud about what he's done thus far?
I'm proud of a lot of things. So that list is long, and he's earned all of the things, all of the success that has come along. His approach is what allows him to have success in a lot of different areas of his game. He's the same guy all the time that loves football, loves the preparation, comes into the building the right way, and really knows that all the aspects are important. And so challenging him with consistency on every level, like he's achieved at this point and has had great success and all that, and chasing consistency, I don't care what you're doing for a living, is a challenge, and that's what he's doing, and he's constantly challenging himself from a technique standpoint.
You mentioned about loving the process, loving to prepare. Some guys love practice, some guys might not, but that love for practice, if it's there, it's special, right?
Yeah. You can usually tell, like, guys that love football versus they like football, or they like the idea of football. That's not the same thing. Like, those are not the same things at all. And when you love football, you'll invest any amount of emotional energy, physical energy, mental energy into being great, attempting to being great at your job, and then wanting your teammates to do the same thing.
Coach, one of the guys we have thoroughly enjoyed having in the studio, the number of times we've had him, is Xavier Hutchinson. He gets the 2 touchdowns against Baltimore, but we've told Marc and I've talked about this. He's found a way to make plays no matter what responsibility he's been given. I mean, the big play in the Chargers game last year, the 2 touchdowns the other day against the Ravens. It feels like he just continues to grow and grow every single day. What have you seen from X since he's gotten here?
You're accurate in all of what you're seeing. He grows. He's extremely intelligent. He's extremely prepared. Every day that he comes into the building, he brings an amazing attitude. He has joy for life. He has joy for football. He loves football. He doesn't just like football. He loves football.
Yep.
And it shows. And, he has a vision for continuing to grow grow himself as a player. And it's showing. And that's, again, some of what we're talking about just constant growth and never really accepting that's not always out there for you.
Yep.
When the Texans acquired Christian Kirk, I thought, professional wide receiver. He walks through the door, and you're going to get production. Is that how you see it?
Yeah. I don't see it any different. He's a pro in all the ways, and he adds a lot to the room that way. The room is built very well. Nick and D'Amico have put guys in there that are pros and want to be pros, and CK has done it for a long time and adds to that. I'm just there's not a lot you're wanting more from CK. He brings a great attitude, and his approach in practice and on game day is fantastic.
What tweaks you more, wrong route run or a missed run block?
Both. Yes is the answer.
Yes is the answer.
That's a good question because, really one has a chance to be more of an effort and a mentality.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that doesn't go good in our room.
Right.
We really want to play with a great effort and great mentality.
Right.
And we talk about effect in every play of the game. And whether we're touching the ball, or whether we're not touching the ball, or whether it's a run, or whether it's a pass, affecting the game on all the plays that were in the game. And so, I'm not. Yeah, anything short in a running game, is a hot button.
Yeah.
That we don't really like to represent in the room.
I figured
some mental errors happen.
Yeah.
From time to time.
Right.
You hope that number's really small. But man, we better be hair on fire and do our job well in the running game.
That's why I wanted to ask that, because I know how much your guys going out and blocking in the run game matters. You could just see it in the way guys are blocking. I mean, Nick's touchdown run the other day, X kind of folds in and makes that block. And you could see on the sideline, guys were almost more excited for him than Nick, who had the running touchdown.
Yeah. Again, there's 65 plays in a game. And to say that which 65 of those is going to help us score a touchdown is silly.
Yep.
So man, let's put great effort and great technique and great mentality into every one of those snaps that we're on the field, and give ourselves a chance to score on every snap.
Yep.
Ben, going to Seattle, noisy, and we always talk about or hear about the quarterback and the offensive line and getting the calls right and everything. What about the receivers part and all that, because they're farther away from the ball and changes at the line of scrimmage? How does all that work with the nonverbal communication?
That's a way of life as a receiver, extended from the formation like that. You're constantly have your eyes on the quarterback for communication. You have to trust each other. It requires that especially on the road. You have to trust the communication, because it's all nonverbal. And so, it challenges that for sure in an environment like Seattle on the road.
Is it similar when you have a sixth offensive lineman in the game? Because I could see the other day there was one moment where I saw X lined up near Blake, and he was trying to figure out, wait, am I on the ball? Am I off the ball? And he kind of got caught in between, and because he was caught in between, it ended up being an illegal shift. How does that communication go, Coach, when you do have 6 offensive linemen in the game and you realize, okay, Blake, we have to treat like a tight end, not an offensive tackle? How does that make it any more difficult on you guys?
No, that better not be hard.
Right.
There's hard things in football, and that better not be one of them.
That's a good way of putting it.
We would. There was a little bit involved in that that penalty we had, but we can't make the simple things hard.
Yeah.
We need to line up right and know that it's just a different personnel grouping when you have a big guy as a tight end, and we should be aware of that, and we should eliminate that.
Overall, offensively, over the 5 weeks going into the bye week, et cetera, what do you think his offense is, Coach? Do you mean if it felt like against Baltimore, everybody got a touch. Everybody got involved in the game in some way, shape, or form, and it felt like the offense moved, and it just felt like it had good rhythm. What do you feel like the offense is now going into the Seattle game?
I think when everybody's kind of executing at a high level across positions, the offense flows. We all like what it looks like,
Right.
But outside of that, like, we don't spend a lot of time about what does it look like and what is it supposed to look like a month or 3 months from now, or you're really just trying to put a good plan together, help the guys prepare at the best way they can every week, and go out there with great conviction and confidence on a Sunday. And when we perform well and they're prepared and they go out there and play like that, we all feel good about what it looks like.
All right, so you were a quarterback at Kent State. We have numerous quarterbacks in football operations as a whole here. Nick Caserio, among others, Gerard Johnson. All right, let's take Gerard out of it. Who has the best arm, okay? Because Gerard, I would think, might at this point because, he doesn't have the seasoning.
I think you're selling Danny Barrett short.
Oh, Danny Barrett,
Danny.
of course.
I think you're selling Danny Barrett short. And,
So Danny Barrett
I'll
at
take,
this stage
I'll
of his
take
life.
Danny. I really don't care.
Yeah.
I'll take Danny. I'll take Danny every day of the week, and Nick can have his opinion on that, and Gerard
Right.
can have his opinion on that.
Right.
But man, Danny's been slinging it for a long time.
Yeah, at a high level.
At a high level.
So that's good.
That's right.
Okay, so you're not even going to get in the mix here.
I'm not. That's
Now, when you're running your wide receiver drills, you have Frank throwing the ball.
that's right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Frank,
but I'm not
Frank
interested
is
in
like a
giving Frank
98
I'm not interested in giving Frank any credit.
No, okay.
I'm very grateful for Frank's support in Indy, and he does a terrific job.
Puts it in a good spot, right?
He does. But we'll leave Frank off the list, and we'll leave Danny just sitting at the top
Frank's
of the
only
mountain.
pitches like 98 miles an hour. That's all he's got.
Yeah, he's a fastball kind
he's
of
a
Puts his whole
kind of
body into
thrower.
it. He's
That's
just
right.
heaving
Yes.
it. It's
Fastball
good.
thrower.
He
good.
admittedly so. I think he would say that.
All right. Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. Good
You got
luck.
it, guys. Yep.